we're ready.
Okay. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the City of Belle City Council meeting. Please silence all technology during the session, and thank you for participating in your city government. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Madam Clerk, can you confirm we have quorum?
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Would everybody please rise for the invocation and the pledge to the flag? Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. Heavenly Father, thank you for another wonderful day in paradise you've prepared for us. Please lead us, guide us, give us direction that we do the best thing we can for the residents of Belle Isle and each other. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Everybody, please be seated.
Mayor, I have one change on the agenda.
Please.
Under presentations, consideration and appointment, special events committee member, Cindy Hartley. She will not be here tonight. So we want to postpone this item till February 17th.
Okay.
So I need to just pull that item for tonight.
That's perfectly okay. Everybody okay with that?
And that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're fine.
Okay. Just want to confirm. Okay. So we'll move on to public comments and announcements. We have one tonight. So persons desiring to address council must complete and provide the city clerk with a yellow request to speak form, limited to 3 minutes with no discussion. When you are recognized, please state your name and address. Direct all remarks to the council as a body. We have with us this evening Ms. Martha Lee Izari. She is running for District 3 Commissioner in Orange County.
Good afternoon, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners, City Council. My name is Martha Lee Izari, and my address is 6431 Keir Street. Thank you for this opportunity. First of all, I met Mayor Carson at the Chili Cook-Off last week, and he invited me to attend your council meeting tonight. As Mayor mentioned, I am currently running for Orange County Commissioner District 3, which includes Belle Isle. Quick background, I have worked for local government for almost 30 years, Orange County government that is. I served many different roles within Orange County government, from community development, economic development, and my latest role was working as assistant to Mayor Jerry Demings. Local to the area since 1990, when my mother moved here as a single mom and lived in the same house that I grew up in as well in 1990. I lived in District 3 over by Inglewood Park. So just a little bit away from here, but still. Fun fact, I used to be a code enforcement officer for 13 years, and this area used to be my area. Of course, not Belle Isle, anything unincorporated, so the Taft area, I'm very familiar with Taft and Pine Castle. It's not something I like to mention because usually code enforcement has a negative stigma, but very familiar with the area and Orange County as a whole after living here for 30 years. So I look forward to continuing to working with you. Anything that you need from me, Martha Lee Izari. I'll be hopefully here this weekend for the Arbor Day and meet the Blue coming up in March. Very engaged with the community. Looking forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. All right, moving on to consent items. These items are considered routine. One motion will adopt them unless a council member requests before the vote on the motion that an item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. We only have one on the item tonight. It is the City Council meeting minutes from January 20th.
Move to approve.
Okay, so move.
Second.
Okay, second from Commissioner Schuck. Does anybody on the phone have a comment to make?
No.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. Please adopt the section, Shalonda. Moving on to unfinished business. Mr. Rumetkin, do you have anything for us on Arapahoe?
All kinds of stuff. Yes, I have all kinds of stuff, but nothing really. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you, Mayor. Commissioners, I sent out an email to an FYI today with the latest basically dialogue with Bernard. I didn't hear from him for a few days, so I went out ahead and reached out to him. to ask him about paperwork and the schedule that he said that he was going through when he was here the last time. If you look into your email I sent you, he did have a copy of the quitclaim deed, which is just a one-page that you would do like you would do upon death transfer, right? It's a one-page deed amendment kind of a thing. This was a quitclaim. I don't know if it's been recorded yet. He said it's done. I'm going to verify that. However, we really don't need to verify it, yes or no. If he is the new owner, then, like he says, then according to his email, he has a schedule. And the schedule has him starting work on the house, the backyard and some of the other things, the week of the 17th to the 20th, which is in 2 weeks. And then he's going to work on that, I guess, all the way through March. And according to his email, which I need to verify with him, that he'll be done with the home in April. That's pretty aggressive. So I will ask him as he goes forward. Phil and I went out there today, just before the council meeting, or during the day. We want to go out and check it. They did mow the lawn and trim the weeds against the fence, and the backyard is still the same. Nothing has been done. It's been cleaned up a little bit, and the roll-off was finally removed. The roll-off that some of you went by and saw, it was full to the top of drywall and material from within the house. Phil and I looked in the windows. Basically, nothing's been changed within the home. So that's kind of what's going on. In that email that Bernard sent, the reason why I didn't call him today is he said, Lizer, I called Lizer last week. I did not get a return or an answer. He said Lizer's still in and out of the hospital with appointments, and that he...
Oh, I'm on it, yeah. I just sending the mayor a message.
We might get this.
Commissioner Lance, we can hear your conversation. I don't know if you need to mute when you're...
Thank you, I'll put it on mute.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, it's no, all good, all good. We went out and anyway, so that's kind of what's going on. And he had said in his email that he had shortness of breath and he was going to go see his doctor and go in the hospital. So with that being said, I forwarded it all to you, and I'm going to call him tomorrow with an update. So with all that being said, and I'm going to kind of give you my opinion on next steps. Since he is the new owner, my opinion is we should give him a month as the new owner to see if he starts his project, if he gets the rest of the paperwork to us, and we'll put it back on for the first meeting in March, which I think will be the same date, March 3rd. At that time, we can go ahead and see if there was anything done, and if there's nothing done, then we can have that hard conversation about the next steps from our end. That would be my opinion. So with that, Mayor, I'll turn it back over to you.
I would say outright that the hard conversation's already happened.
Okay.
Set the wheels in motion if we're not getting adherence to the guideline that's been presented. I'm at my end game with it, to be honest with you. It just seems like a bouncing ball. It's like a bouncing ball that hasn't stopped, and here we are. We're still footing it down the line. We're still having the same conversations where the work hasn't started yet. And God bless them. I hope they both get well, honestly. But I can tell you outright, every time I see it on the agenda, it sparks a little bit of an ire in me, and I just can't get out of the headspace of it. You know, we've definitely done our due diligence in giving time and guideline on what needs to happen. And it seems like they always have an excuse as to why it's going to push just a little bit further and a little bit further down the road. So that's just my opinion. Commissioner Smith, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pardon my French, but I equate this situation we're in to auto-attended hell. It just keeps going around and around. No matter how many times you press star or press pound or press 0, you just get another recording. And quite frankly, I'm embarrassed about it. Mr. Turner stood here, first meeting in January, and said, we have $175,000 approved. She has the money to rebuild the house. There is no termite damage. There is no mold. There is no structural failure. The house can be rebuilt. It'll take us no time at all. We gave him 30 days. He came in here, stood there, and said, well, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I had to shut everything down.
The 175,000 got canceled, but now we're asking for 225. But we're going to cancel that because she gave me a quick claim deed, and now I'm the new owner.
Now he has the money. Now he has the money.
And he has the money.
Yeah, supposedly.
Supposedly.
I'm not trying to call him a liar, but
All I'm saying is we never get the same story twice, and none of it ever turns out to be what actually occurs.
agreed.
I'm all for turning it down tomorrow. It's my personal opinion.
Commissioner Bobrowski.
I just looked it up on the Orange County Tax Appraiser website, and as of February 1st, it is still under Lizer Stovall. So it doesn't even look like he's filed the claim deed. If he has not filed it, I'm all for moving on to demolition. Enough is enough. I'm not comfortable with him. He keeps throwing out that he's a man of God and don't question his integrity, but like I was talking to the city manager today, Jim Jones was a man of God, and we all know what he did. So that's, you're right, it's talking around in circles. I think he's playing us, and I bet you dollars to donuts he comes back in, and he goes, oh, well, you know, I had to go in the hospital. I've been having some heart issues. Everything was on hold. So we've gone too far down this road. We shouldn't even be down this road, but I think we need to exit it as quick as we can.
Commissioner Schuck and then Commissioner Choice.
I agree with Commissioner Bobrowski. It's been so long, even though now he's the official owner, we think. I don't see how that's going to change to allow him to get everything done in, a month or 2 months. He's had how many months before this? So I'm in favor of just cutting bait and going ahead with the tear down.
Commissioner Bertoli.
Thank you, Your Honor. People have to realize this has been going on 4 or 5 years, and we just keep getting stonewalled and stalled. Nothing, it's just not fair, I've said this before, to the rest of the residents. They live by the rules. If they have a problem, code violation, they have to clean it up. We don't give anybody 4 or 5 years. And nothing against them, it could be anybody that owns it, asking for this and just taking us down the road another time, you know. I feel sorry for them, but I think we're going to move ahead.
A motion doesn't make for good business. I hate to say that, but you know, we used our hearts to make that first decision, and now we need to use our heads to some extent. And just for record, it wouldn't change immediately if they did file. There is a stamp on the paperwork that he has, so sometimes property appraiser can take 2 weeks. I mean, Mr. Pardon, you can probably attest to that.
I was just telling Stan that it's not immediate, but there is a stamp on there.
Correct. It's a legal stamp, yeah.
I missed that, so sorry.
No worries. Anybody else?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, ma'am. Commissioner Lowell, give me 1 second.
Just put it down.
Oh, you didn't? No, I needed to screw it. Echoing.
I'll do that.
Please, Commissioner Lowell, you're on mic.
Thank you. I just want to ask to be a question to the city attorney. Is the legalities that we condemned it went through the process and the house was condemned, does that go with the structure, or now that there is, if it is legally a new owner, does that change that? Like, not, obviously not the shape of the house, but do those proceedings of null and void and have to start all over because it's new owner?
No, I believe it goes with the structure. If I'm not mistaken, I think Dan was asked this question during the last meeting as well. So it was just there's, especially because this is, you know, in this instance, it's not like this guy complained that he has no notice of this. He's been part of this for months and months and months. Yeah. It's not like you can all of a sudden be like, well, what on earth are you talking about? I have no idea. Like, yeah, I mean, if that was the case, then you could just easily just go through an endless circle of quitclaim deeds, and you would never get anything condemned. So it has to stay, you know, it has to stay with the structure. That's why that process works that way.
Okay, thank you.
Is that what you had, Commissioner Lowell?
Yes, that was it. Thank you.
Commissioner Lance, did you have anything to say?
Yes, I really don't like what's going on. I really feel like we're being taken advantage of. Although I agree with Mr. Ludebeck in giving 30 days and that's it. He will never get my vote again after that if he doesn't prove himself this final time.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Commissioner Bobrowski.
So Mr. City Manager,
Yes.
Are there still outstanding code enforcement fines on the property?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, then.
Those have never been taken care of.
Then I would like to make a motion that we demand payment on all code enforcement fines within the next 30 days before any other action is taken on the property. I mean, if the man intends to do it, then he needs to start toning up to the game and taking care of the responsibilities. And maybe by forcing his hand on the code enforcement fines, it might be a wake-up call to him that, hey, guy, we're at the end of the rope. We're serious.
So we have a motion. So let's do
Second
whatever.
that.
Yeah. You want a second?
Yeah, second for discussion.
Perfect.
I just have a curious, or I have a question. Do we not have that process in place already before people can obtain building permits and things like that to pay off their...
This is kind of a unique situation. I don't know that we have that process. I know, because sometimes you can't force somebody to pay a certain thing, but we keep a record of it, right? So once we keep a record of it, if there's something or a sale or if there's a lien, we can always put in for that. Ben, tell me if I'm wrong, but we can always put in for that. Hey, we have $5,000 worth of code enforcement, that needs to be paid too. But we don't have a mechanism that you cannot get a permit unless you pay the code enforcement fines. And I don't know that we really want to go down that road, but we could say this is what's owed, right? This is what's owed. Recouping attorney fees on something like this is difficult, but code enforcement fees, we could actually push that issue to have that done. But I don't know if it was more than $5 or $6 grand, maybe. I don't remember, Chief, if you had that. Yeah. So we'd have to look and see what the exact is. We'll look on GoGov and see what that total would be. But if there's a motion and a second and the council does approve to go ahead and do that, I'm more than happy to collect that number and tell Bernard, here's your code enforcement fines. Now that you're paying off the loan, you need to pay these off as well.
I don't think it can hurt. I mean, he owns the dump, the place now. So
Yeah.
I almost said dump. I apologize.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Mayor?
So he might as well
One
be
second.
notified of what he owes.
Right.
Is there any downside to that, sir?
Mayor?
Hold one moment, Commissioner Lance.
I don't believe so, as long as he has notice of the information, providing him that total is going to be something as the owner of the property, it's going to fall on his head regardless.
Yes.
So I don't think there's any harm in saying like, hey, by the way, here you go. It's on paper, you're just providing notice to a new owner, and when you're also, there's a little bit of thumb screws going on in terms of the practicality of, what's going on, we know what's going on, let's go ahead and start playing ball here. I think it's both practical and paper-wise fine.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Lance?
Yes, sir. Do we know an approximate amount how much these fines are?
I thought it was like maybe 5,000 around, give or take, Commissioner. But
Yes, sir.
we'll get a number and I can let you guys know. But I think it was around that maybe a little less. I mean, it really depends.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Chief Grimm, got an update you can give to us on that, sir?
So a letter I sent back March 19th. The total amount of fines for code enforcement is $13,200.
Oh, we were wrong.
It was $6,000 for attorney fees.
Oh, okay.
$6,318.
So I had it backwards. Commissioner Lance, a little over 6,000.
Yes, sir. I heard that.
Okay.
I heard it. Thank you very much.
13. A little over 13.
I'm still stuck on the attorney fees.
You
So
are.
it's 19 total between the attorney fees and?
Yes.
And that was up till March of last year, I suppose. What do you think about just putting whatever the total is we're looking for attorney's fees too, just so that he's aware of what we're expecting?
Can you give me the exact numbers tomorrow? Just tomorrow, and I'll get them tomorrow and I can tell Bernard.
I'd say just put it all on there and send it to him and say, look, this is what's on the property and this is what we need. What's expected?
Yeah, it would be a lien against them anyway if we did foreclose. So, Commissioner Bertoli, I apologize, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor, that's right. Just to double check now, attorney fees and the demolition fees, there would be a lien put against the property, correct? So I don't know, I'll ask the attorney, if that's a lien and the property changes hands, somebody's gonna have to pay that down the road.
Yes, code enforcement, anything that's related with that would include the attorney's fees, demolition fees, all that stuff is going to go on the property itself. So it's going to go, property changes hands, it's not going to shift away, it doesn't just disappear to the ether.
If someone buys the property, do they have to pay that before they take possession?
Correct.
Well, it's going to be, they're going to have to pay, they're going to have to pay it. It becomes their obligation. You know, they can maybe work with the city if they don't necessarily pay it ahead of time, but you definitely at least have to pay it. Like, they incur that debt. So if they buy the property and it's foreclosed upon, it's foreclosed upon them. They can't just be like, but I'm the new owner. So they can't escape it by being the new owner, correct?
Now, if we tell Bernard it's the 19,000 and change, almost 20,000 for the attorney and the code enforcement fees, and he pays it, no lien, there's no problem because it's been paid. Phil checked with the contractor, and right now it would be about $20,000 to demo. Now, that was when the house was full of stuff. The house is empty, and there's 3/4 of it has no drywall and no ceiling. So that cost should come down because a lot of that was already taken out. So the demolition that we were originally going to pay should be quite a bit cheaper because there's not all the stuff that's included with it. So they would lose out on the new garage door. They would lose out on the roof. I may have been premature on my 30 days because if this council is moving toward demolition, then him starting work, his first week was going to be trimming the bushes in the back and everything else. There's no real reason, right, to wait the 30 days if you guys want to move forward with it, because if he starts progress, then tearing it down would be kind of, I don't know, you know what I mean. So
That's the way I see it. We keep going with these things, and he puts a new garage door, puts this, puts that. Maybe they figure they're going to get to the point where we won't tear it down.
Correct.
Because he has new stuff in there, repaired stuff.
I would have hoped he would have went faster, because he's had the demolition, but there's been nothing done, if you will, when we started this back in December, right, when he first came here and he was talking about how he's going to fix and do. There's just a little bit of paint on the front. They painted some of the soffits without fixing them just to add color, right? They took some of the debris and threw a little red mulch down. Since then, they have demoed 2/3 or 3/4 of the home inside, drywall and ceiling. There's a couple of rooms that still have the drywall in them, and put a garage door in with a new header and sides for the garage door. That's all that's been done since, so you got January, mid-February, 2 months total. That's all that's been done. They need a new garage door to provide some kind of security, but that's all that's been done. There really hasn't been anything else. So they're out the garage door cost, but they could salvage the garage door, right? I mean, that is a salvageable piece to use someplace else. We would say before demolition, you need to remove your garage door and the brackets to make sure you can save that. So they would do that, but nothing else has been added to the property.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure the city that we have a avenue to recoup our costs, which they've put us through. And as long as we put a lien on it, I'm satisfied with that. That'll cover if the property's sold and stuff.
Correct.
It'll come to light. Thank you.
Okay, so we do have a motion on the floor.
Right.
And we did have a second for discussion. Would you like to amend your motion?
Or let's just
Or
vote on
do
that.
you want to vote? Yeah, correct.
Let's just vote on that motion. If it dies, great. If it's going, then I add that to my list of what to ask Bernard. And then if we want to make another motion on how to move forward, we can do that separately.
Perfect. So all in favor of the motion on the floor?
Could you repeat the motion?
Commissioner Commissioner Browsley.
I would like to amend it to make it a little bit more clear, if that's at all possible.
Then you okay with that?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, as long as it gets seconded, the amended version gets seconded.
Yeah, 100%, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Thank you.
I would like to make a motion that
Actually, I'd like to amend my
I would
motion.
like to amend my motion to state that all code enforcement fines and legal fees must be paid within 30 days. If not, we will move into demolition.
A second from Commissioner Parton on the amended motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Aye.
Who was no?
Mayor, mine was aye in favor.
You're in favor?
Yes.
Commissioner Lowell?
Yes.
She was, yeah, okay. So we have a
So we
nay
have
from
Commissioner
Smith and
Shuck
Shuck.
and Commissioner Smith, yes.
Motion passes 5-2.
Okay, now the motion has to be paid in 30 days or go to demolition. So I need to tell him that if he pays it, if he pays the fines, it's not going to demolition. Everybody realizes that because of that motion. So he can fix his house, right? We're on the same page.
Yeah, so in 30 days, if he pays the fine, he understands we're serious. And then we see what happens in 30 days.
Okay.
But at this
No,
point,
good.
I think we need to hold his feet to the fire.
Okay.
Because right now, all we're doing is tap dancing and getting excuses for everything in the world. So here's an ultimatum back to him. That's my logic.
I would tell you I appreciate that motion for the simple fact that we have been out the money already. We've done this song and dance. We're saying, pay us back for what we've gone through this whole entire process, and then let's move forward from there on ground zero. So
That shows good faith on his part.
his part as well.
Okay, perfect. All right, thank you very much.
Are you okay with that?
Your Honor, I have a question for the city attorney.
Sir? Yes, sir.
In light of the motion that just passed, and then he pays it, but then nothing else occurs, what is our position? Do we fall back to where we're at today, where we've already noticed it? We have the ability and the legal right to tear it down?
Correct. The interpretation of the motion as it was presented was demolition just begins, no further action required, no further voting required automatically if 30 days passes and no payment of fees has occurred. Now there will need to be a motion to just actually go ahead and if he pays it, there's going to have to, and then nothing happens. There's going to have to be a subsequent motion later on to
We'll bring it back.
Now go ahead. But plenty of notice. Notice stays. Notice is still with the property. It's just one of those. Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's gonna. It just basically he's literally going to be buying some more time with this. He's going to be basically paying off the fees to showcase that there's actual investment, right? And he's taking it seriously. And then he's going to have enough skin in the game at that point that honestly the city's investments or payment is kind of off the table at that point. We got our money back. Saves the time of having to go for the lien, all that kind of other stuff. So if he does pay it off, and then 2 months down the road we demo it anyway, except for demo costs, the city's already ahead. I think it's totally fine. There's not going to be another. We don't have to start this again from the beginning just because of the way this is worded.
Thank you.
Okay, I got it.
Okay. We're going to be moving into new business now, the Willdan contract extension.
Yeah, so we started this is the stormwater study, you guys. It's been going on for a couple of years. We plan on finishing the study this year in 2026. Now, we had a couple of setbacks. Last year, we didn't bring it to the council to increase fees. We waited all on that. So this year, we're gonna finish the study, no money, no anything. I cannot extend the contract to finish the study past March, which is next month. I need the council to vote on extending the contract to the end of this fiscal year, but then the study will be completely finished, and then we'll decide through the budget process what we're going to do about stormwater fee in light of basically all the property tax reductions and everything else. We'll be discussing that with council and the budget committee. But all I need for this one is just the council to allow me to extend the contract with that motion I have in there just to the end of the year. No extra money, no extra, this is just for time.
Mr. Mayor?
Commissioner Smith first and then Commissioner Wool.
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. What's the reason that it's been taking so long? Is
Um,
not what these people do for a living?
Yes, but we've had some problems with what we should charge with businesses and residents, and we didn't have it had to do with our previous planner was supposed to do some things to help with the study. It didn't happen, so we're having April do it from last year to add some stuff. Is basically looking at the difference between a parcel or a dwelling unit. There's a different way that we have to charge people for that. And are we charging the correct commercial rates? So we didn't get that from the planner, and because we didn't put it into the budget to increase the rates, we waited because we were doing other things and trying to talk about the fire millage. That was the emphasis for last year's budget. This year, we don't have that, so we want to finish the study completely. We actually are trying to set up a meeting with Dan right now to go over the difference between parcel and dwelling unit. But it'll be done this year for sure. And because of that, I just need extra time per their contract.
Commissioner Lowell.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was thinking the same thing. Why does it take so long? Like, why do we need to extend it till the end of the year? Is it going to take 11 months to complete it?
Yeah, we should have it. The initial time to present for council was April. But because we have this dwelling unit parcel issue to set up with Dan a meeting so we can find out exactly what it is, then April has basically the definition of it. Then she can go through everything that she's going to do with Wildan so we can get all that information so we're properly charging each particular parcel or resident. And the idea was to come in April. If it doesn't get done in April, then we'll have to come back to council. You guys can extend it to April. That's fine, if that's what you want to do. I'm just asking till the end of the fiscal year to give us more time during the budget process to see if we really want to put an increase in this year or not. So, but if you want to extend to the end of April, I'm good with that too.
Mr. Pardon.
At what cost?
Initial, I think for this whole study was $54,000, and that's the initial budget. It has not been expended, and we might have some leftover for the end of the year. I mean, at the end of the year, we might have some leftover for this project, but that was before my time, that they already set the initial budget for this study, and I believe it was about $54,000.
So they're not looking for additional funds?
No, this is just time. Yeah.
And then you're asking to go through September?
That's the end of the fiscal year, just to make sure I don't ever have to come back and ask you guys, and it will be completed this year and be part of the budget discussions if we want to raise the ERU or not this year. Like we talked about last year, and we didn't do it last year because we were looking to raise the millage to cover the fire expense is what the emphasis was.
When is that due? Isn't it due by June or some sort of date for that figure?
For which one? This is not millage. This is stormwater fee. This is a non-ad valorem MSTU. So there's no limit. We have to eventually get it to them, whatever that is. But we plan on having this study and present it in April. We just don't know if we want to charge our residents this year or wait another year to increase that. Based on it, we're going to do a 5-year plan, but we don't know if we want to start that 5-year plan this year or we want to start the 5-year plan in the following year once we know what the property taxes are going to become or do or what they're going to vote on in November.
Anybody on the phone have anything that they would like to add?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, could possibly say extend it to May and then put the language in with a possible 30-day extension. This might just put a little emphasis on having it done a little sooner than having it at the end, by the end of the fiscal year, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've said what I need to say, so whatever you guys want to do.
Anybody want to make that motion or make a motion on this?
She's just making comments. I thought she was making a motion.
Oh no, she was making a comment originally.
Making the comment, yeah.
She was saying that she would like the emphasis on it being May, end of May, so that Commissioner Lowell, would you like to make a motion?
Sure, I make a motion that we extend the contract the end of May with a one-time extension of an additional 30 days.
Second.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Parton.
Well, before we vote,
For discussion.
for discussion, okay. So we're gonna extend the contract to the end of May, which is May 30th or May 31st, and then are you allowing me to do an extra 30 days if needed, is that it? To the end
Correct.
of June?
So the end of June, my apologies.
Okay, so the authorize the city manager to extend another 30 days if needed. I'm good with that, it's fine.
And notify us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Not a party. Okay. Motion passes unanimously.
All right, thank you.
Moving on to the Herrenbraun statue placement.
Okay, so this is a fun one, something different for the council. So 8 years ago, we basically purchased a Herrenbraun statue. I went back and did some research on it. I read an email from Bob that he had because he was talking to a resident, because the resident was asking, hey, we voted to buy the statue, have we put it up anywhere? So in the research Phil and I were doing, because we talked about, because the Facebook posts were going around about the Belle Isle signs, coming in and out of the city, and then the resident said, well, we got the sign, but what about that heron? And then I had one resident ask, Rick, why don't you just sell it to me? It'd be good in my backyard, and I'll put the water feature in, and it'll really look good. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll see what the council wants to do. Then I had another resident say, hey, we have this thing, I've seen it over there at Public Works. Anyways, with all that being said, I put it on for the council. We do have this really cool statue. We paid $9 grand for it back in 2018. To buy it now, it's $12,500 plus shipping. Right, shipping's like $600, or probably now shipping was what, Phil? About $1,000 now to ship it if we had to buy it today. So we have this really cool statue. It does spit water. So if you hook it up, right? So it's a water feature, right? So the reason when Bob was talking to the resident, the reason we bought it, and I guess it was because we did a resident kind of a survey monkey or something, and what the residents want to do, they voted for this thing and then use it.
They responded to the survey monkey?
I think, or we sent out an e-blast, or I forgot what it was. Yeah. I don't have all the information.
No.
Yeah, just kind of loosely, but I guess it was given to the residents to do this. Anyways, so we got it, but what the email said was to the resident that we were going to put it in the fountain.
Yeah.
But the problem was the fountain is too small for the water feature. The way it spits water, the fountain had to be wider, and then we couldn't have our roundabout. So it got shelved. So it got shelved back. Yeah, it got shelved back in where Phil picked it up and put it over there. But that's what the email said, that didn't fit in the fountain. And then we're planning on putting it someplace else, but we never put it anywhere. So because I had some inquiries about it, I decided to bring it to you guys and ask you, what do you want to do with the blasted thing? It's cool, and we may have to, maybe shine it up a little bit. It does have a water feature, which we don't have to use. Or do you want to sell it to one of our residents and let them enjoy it? So anyways, this is kind of where we're at. But we have this thing, maybe we put it temporary someplace, and then maybe in the future, if we do something with the municipal, you walk into a really cool place and it has this centerpiece, right? That could be our centerpiece, which is kind of the idea why I think originally it was bought. But people want to know and people want to buy it, so maybe we should stick it somewhere and enjoy it. So anyways, that's it.
Commissioner Parton, I see the wheels spin.
Yeah, well, as I recall, I remember they talked about putting it out here in the area outside.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like
They
right
did?
where you walk in, here out front.
Oh, like right here.
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay. We can do that.
Because isn't there something there is there water there?
There was a water feature, but it was electric. There wasn't water coming. It was a self-contained unit that you plug in, and then it just recycled water. But we were going to put a bench there for people to sit. It does get some leaves and stuff, but it is an open area. Yeah, we could put it right there if that's what you guys decide. We could put it over behind this wall. That has an open area. There was talk about sticking it where the clock is, kind of maybe on this, not on that other side of the clock, but on this side of the clock. Or put it someplace in the park, or put it in the chief's office. He kind of really likes it.
Right here.
Or one of our parks. We had talked about, somebody said, why don't you put it in one of our parks? Well, Venetian's got room, Regal's got a fountain, Trimble's too far south. Then another idea was, let's put it on Judge and Conway as the centerpiece when you're driving in. I don't think that got any legs, because you'd rather have a welcome to Belle sign. But funny enough, when people say they want to redo the signs, I've also had 2 residents tell me, we don't want you to do the signs because we don't want people to know that this is our little oasis Belle Isle. So we don't want to advertise. No joke. They don't want to advertise that this is our little area. So, I mean, you know how that dynamic goes around in the city, right? So, but I'm just kind of leaving it up to you guys. If you want to think about it, I'll put it on the agenda later. But maybe you guys can come up with a location for it, something maybe to use it.
Mr. Shaw?
Yeah, it's been so long, I can't remember. How big is this thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say it's taller than Bill.
Tall and probably
Yeah, about,
Oh, my God.
at least 4. It's 2 herons.
yeah. So I think it's
Big
7,
heron birds.
maybe 7
okay.
foot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, right, Phil? About at least about 7.
About 7 foot.
And
Probably
then
at
about,
least.
yeah, 4.
It won't fit in the fountain that's there
No.
right now. It would not fit in that fountain.
How about the fountain at Regal Park?
It
That's
won't
bigger.
fit in there.
Oh, okay.
The fountain at Regal Park is actually smaller.
Oh.
Even if the water wasn't connected, still won't fit in?
Yeah, I was going to say, Phil, do you want to go up to the mic, please, sir?
Hey, what do you think?
Mayor?
Hold one moment, Commissioner Lance.
I'd have to really measure the feet of it to say if it would fit in there with no water, but to put it inside of a bowl and have no water, I don't think that's really I don't think that's going to look.
Have it sprayed.
Personally, I don't think that's kind of what it's made for, and it's probably just going to be like, what's this thing sitting in there? I think you're better off with your fountain that you have on that. But from my understanding, they could not make the fountain big enough because of the intersection right there to allow that to sit in and have the water and so forth on that. So if you're going to set it somewhere and not have water, truthfully, right out here, you would almost have to pour that whole, because if you're going to put water to it, it has to set in some type of bowl to recirculate that water. It's not just you plug water to it and it does its own recirculation unless it's in a bowl, like the fountain type deal. So you kind of have to take that in consideration if you're thinking of putting it somewhere to hook it up and have it activate like it's supposed to. Both the birds have like he said, it's use water out their mouth type deal, and it just, you put a pump on it and it recirculates itself when it's inside of a bowl.
So presently, our best option is a lawn ornament?
Presently, I love where it sits only because it looks cool when we were just so used to it at Public Works. But that's just Public Works' personal opinion. We're so used to it that it's our statue. But no, I mean, you can set it somewhere, as a statue, but you're setting a $10,000, $12,000 piece of art.
Yes. Yeah,
and you need to make sure that wherever it's set, it's not going to grow legs.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the easiest thing in the world to move, but let's think about where we are going to set it if we're going to do something like that, how it's going to be set so that this thing doesn't grow legs.
Commissioner Lance.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. I agree with Commissioner Parton. Sorry, somebody else talking. I agree with Commissioner Parton. I'd like to see it on the ground somewhere around City Hall. But Commissioner Harvey Reedy was very passionate about this when I was on the commission before. He's the one that work tirelessly to get this fountain done. If we do, in fact, put it somewhere, which I agree with, I would like to see it named Harvey Reedy Fountain.
What's the name of that?
Phil Price Fountain?
Lovely.
Did you put it in? Yeah, I have no idea what it's called, Vice Mayor. I have no idea.
Commissioner
that's
Harvey.
Harvey Reedy.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I thought that was too, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So that one already has a name on it?
The
Yes.
current fountain is named for Harvey already.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
That's where it was going to originally go,
Right.
like you
Correct.
said.
Yeah.
Got it.
Would it be possible for you guys to come up, rather than us just telling you where we think is a cool spot, can you tell us spots you recommend and spots that would actually be possible, and whether it would be, the fountains would be used or not? I don't think it's absolute that it has to spew. So if you could figure out where those spots would be and then maybe give us a choice to pick from, because you know, I don't know what I'm asking of you, what it weighs, all this stuff, what kind of power does it need?
Yeah, what we can do,
If you're not going to have water to it, there's no power. The only reason you would need power is if you
Light
put it
it
in.
up.
No, if you put it in a fountain, you're going to have a pump to recirculate that. So you would have to have power for that. And then if you do something where you're going to have some type of lighting, you'd have to have power for the lighting. Other than that, it can sit out there all day long, 24 hours a day with, you know, as a statue type deal. But it depends on how far forward you guys want to go with it. Do you want to have the water feature? Do you want to have, you know, lights on it? That's just a whole different of how you're going to design the whole thing. Again, it's going to be quite a big bowl, I'm going to call it, to be able to set that in and have it where it does circulate the water and so forth. I mean, you guys see how big that one is in the intersection right there. It really needs to be a little bigger than that for it to fit in from what I'm told. I had nothing to do with that originally. It was already at Public Works when I came aboard, and it's just been sitting there under our, you know, watchful eye. So that's kind of where we're at. But again, I would just think about where you're really, really thinking about setting it to make sure that it doesn't get vandalized, it doesn't, different things on it. I mean, you know, it's a...
let Phil and I look.
It's a cool structure.
Let us look at where we can put it. Most of the spots will be statue only, no water feature. But let us look and see where we can do it. And it could be a temporary type thing. Maybe in the future, if City Hall ever expands and we do something different, maybe we could make a water feature out of it. And that'll be something that's almost historic, if you will, because it's something we bought quite a few years ago. We're using it now, but then we'll use it at its full capacity in a later type of situation. So let us look at a couple places, take a couple pictures, and then we can bring them and show you guys on the screen that, hey, you know, this is where we think it should go, and then let you guys decide at that time. We have no problem.
I need to look exactly how it, because right now,
how the base is,
how it attaches to, because right now we have it set in some like gravel. It's just in a gravel area. We have the feet covered up or the base covered up. It's up against our building, so it doesn't get high wind, so there's no threat of it being really knocked over. You know, it's right by our door, so we just, again, we need to look and I need to check on it and see some things and officially see how it needs to be adhered in the ground and stuff like that, because we don't want to put it out there and, you know, those 50-mile-an-hour winds we just had over the weekend, you know, the next thing you see it laying on the ground type deal. I just, you know, want to make sure.
Commissioner Bobrowski and then Commissioner Vertol.
Okay, thank you. My first concern, if we use it just as a statue, put it out here. Kids are going to climb on it. Dogs are going to do what dogs do on statues. And if we put it into a water feature somewhere, we're probably looking at another 10 grand to build the bowl, and that's probably very light on the estimate. So now we're looking at having a $20,000 statue, so to speak, a fountain, and we're trying to find revenue sources. So if this resident that is interested in buying it, if he wants to cover our cost and give us 10 grand for it, I'd say sell it and buy one that's small enough to fit in the fountain or in the fountain at Regal Park. Because if I remember right, they did the Survey Monkey, but it was like, we are getting a fountain. Here's 8 pictures. Which one do you want? It was not in the Survey Monkey, do you want a fountain?
Right.
So people just had pictures with no dimensions. So I think a half-size version would look fabulous here or in Regal, but the one we have is bloody huge.
Correct.
The only thing I can say on that is maybe think about the cost you already have in fountains that you have out there. From my understanding, that fountain that's out here was shipped in from out of state, and it's a big, huge 3-piece deal. I mean, I'm just, I wasn't involved in that, but I'm just,
That was, I think,
just throwing it out there.
I think that was 6 figures for that whole project.
Yee.
So to change that, to break the inner piece off and put the herons in may not be cost effective. But like I said,
Well, maybe we need to see what this guy is willing to pay for it.
yeah, I mean, I can ask, but I don't want to go out there and sell it and then be hung for it.
Commissioner Bertoli.
Right, Your Honor. How heavy is this thing?
I have no idea. It's been there since I started. We don't move it, we don't touch it, we just look at it and talk about it all the time, and it's pretty cool. We
Your best friend.
we hang stuff on it at Christmas, we do stuff with it. It's just a cool statue. Like I said, we're going to be bummed. It is a neat little thing. We're so used to it being there. But no,
we can leave it as the
I really don't
statue.
know.
Yeah, we can
It's
leave
got
it
to
as
be
the
heavy,
statue.
I can tell you. It's not light.
But there's a way to secure it if they do decide where to put it.
Yes, I would, if that was the case, I would reach out to the company that we bought it from, that it was bought from, and say, hey, what's your method of moving this? I'm sure, I haven't looked, it might have some hook spots on it already, lifting hooks spots on it. I don't know, you might just strap it and, pick it up and move that. I wasn't involved again when it was there. When I came aboard, it was already in place at Public Works.
And the other thing, if they put water to it, you're going to have to maintain it because the water's going to get green and scummy.
Just like
when the leaves fall, it's going to plug up the thing.
Yes.
Just like the fountain, we do the same. The same thing with the fountain, and we're trying to work on revamping the fountain right now because that bowl had a leak in it, and we're having to go in and do that, and then the guys pine needles in there from the trees, leaves, everything, and the water is
maintenance issue.
It is a maintenance issue.
Thank you.
So how long have you worked for the city of Belle?
Going on 4 years.
Okay. Do we know when we bought this? Anybody have any idea?
2018. I pulled
I thought I heard that, but I wasn't sure.
Tracy, I have the invoice, and that's how we know the cost and everything.
In the email from Bob.
Thompson Antique.
Can I ask one suggestion when you're looking for sites that ding, ding, ding over near the police boat ramp? Don't we have a little extra property there, or?
I don't think anybody's going to see it.
The whole idea is so people can come
Oh,
and
I
see it.
understand that, but once they develop Wallace Field, there'll be people in Wallace Field. Wallace Field would be a great place for it.
I mean,
but
I don't think the boat area is.
No,
that's just my personal. Yeah. That's just my personal. I don't think you're going to get. If you're going to put it somewhere, I honestly believe somewhere out in that, out there, even if you have to do a little
garden around it,
something to keep the people away from it, and as much as you can. And if we have certain functions, maybe put some type of little fencing or something to keep them away from it. I don't know. I mean, that's something that we can all think about, but. Here would probably be your best spot, truthfully.
Commissioner Lowell.
Yeah, I'm just going to say, look at City Hall, it being across from a police station, that would probably deter anybody from wanting to vandalize it, so.
I caught half of that.
I missed it.
So I was saying, if we decided to put it near City Hall without the water feature, I think the fact that it's across from the police station would certainly deter anybody from wanting to vandalize it.
Yeah, understood. I would agree with that statement. So, anybody want to put a motion on the floor to have them scout area for it, and they can come back to us, or?
I still move, Your Honor.
Second.
Okay, I got a first from Commissioner Smith and a second from Commissioner Parton. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Commissioner Lance, your phone, sir.
I was an aye.
No, sir, your phone it's loud.
Yes, I was aye. Yes.
Mute. Thank you, sir. Moving on to the city attorney's report.
Thank you. There's nothing for me to report. If you guys have any questions for me. Okay, perfect.
Moving on to the city manager's report, Mr. Rumette.
Yeah, just a couple of things. A couple of dates. Arbor Day here this Saturday, the 7th. And come meet your Belle Isle Police Department like we did last year at, what's the park over there? Warren Park. Tentative date, March 14, Saturday, March 14. Basically, like we did before, we'll have a barbecue and come meet and greet the officers in blue. Or black now, right? Yeah, it's dark blue. So that's the tentative date is March 14. So we'll have more on that. We're working on the same flyer that'll be got out, be pushed out on e-alert and everything else. Okay. Lancaster House. Phil and I met with Brian today to talk about the fence. So we think that Billy Morgan understands that the Pioneer Days are going to pay for that fence, which is basically two sides, the south side and the east side. One of the requests was, we don't want to put the new fence up now, we want to wait till the exterior is done, then put the fence up. Right now they're building their new gymnasium, which is about 3 feet off the existing chain link fence. What we talked to Billy about was, whoever's finished first, the fence will go up. So if CCA's finished and they want to finish their stuff, the fence will go up. If Lancaster's done with their exterior, then they can put it up. In talking with Brian, we do have an amendment that says all 4 sides. So he's going to talk to Mayor Brooks or Director Brooks and ask him about maybe we could modify that amendment a little bit to just do the 2 sides, because they want to put a white picket fence around the west side and the north side. So Brian thought that was not a bad idea, so he's going to get back to us. Once I get him back to us and the cost of the fence, I will put that into the lease, let them look at it, and then let Billy look at it, and then that's the last part of the lease. That'll come back to council for approval with a start date of March for the project, and then Billy said they're ready to rock and roll, as you heard the last time he was here. So I'll just give you an update on the Lancaster lease. Soul Avenue reimbursement. So you've been hearing me talk about how we over and over and over again giving information. So the last part of the Soul reimbursement was for the contractor to basically give us a memo, a 1-line memo that basically says we are in full compliance of attachment 8A. I won't go into attachment 8A, it's pretty lengthy, but it talks about all kinds of things, prevailing wage, discrimination, all this other stuff. So we reached out to the contractor. I reached out 2 or 3 times, never got a response. Then I got a response and said that the owners out of town will look at it. They looked at it. They told me that we will not be doing that because we didn't follow prevailing wage because it was not required. I reached out to DEP and told them that exactly. DEP reached back out and said, no problem, the project was under $10 million, you don't need prevailing wage, you guys are good to go. So I said, perfect. I sent them the email and said, you guys are good to go. All I needed was a signature and 1 sentence that basically said, that basically said, we are in compliance, no big deal. I reached back out, I sent them 3 or 4 emails, I had Phil call because I weren't responding. Phil called 2 or 3 times, left messages. They completely ghosted us, not doing anything. So finally, I emailed back DEP and I said, we are not getting a response. I don't know what else to do. We are in compliance. Phil finally talked to them today and they said, we will not be doing a letter of compliance or a signature because the main reason was we didn't know that this was a grant-funded project. Basically, they kind of shunned Phil, and so what I did is I sent another email today to DEP and told them that situation, that they've been ignoring us and that we probably will not get it. So they're trying to work with us with a couple of options, that we do a letter of compliance based on Phil, based on if the chief was here, based on if you guys were here, based on whoever knew about the contractor and the project, and go ahead and basically do a compliance letter. So that's what I'm working on now. It's been taking forever to get a reimbursement, and now this glitch or this whatever that the contractor won't do has put us in the situation where now we have to provide more information. So I'm telling you the money's coming, but it just can't keep coming soon enough. But that's the biggest one. Hurricane Ian, FEMA's still looking at it and they won't talk to us until they're done, and I can't get them except to tell me FEMA's still looking at it. We'll let you know. And that's basically, those are the biggest things. We have 4 RFPs going out. We all are working staff. We're going through the RFPs now because they are in draft form, just to make sure we have everything we need. And then the dates of those are the end of February to March, which we planned in January, and then we'll have 4 RFPs going out. So that's just an update. So, but the soul thing is really bothering me. But I'm going to keep working until we get the money. But like I said, that's the latest on that. So. Mayor.
Sir. Moving on to the chief's report. Did you have something to?
Yeah, I had a question.
Yeah, Commissioner Bertoli. Sorry about that, Chief.
Thank you, Your Honor. Was this job given out like on a bid with a contract and all?
Are you talking about the Soul Avenue Committee?
Yes.
Yeah, well, 4 years ago, it was bid.
Regardless, though,
Yeah.
I'm sure they just didn't say, yeah, we'll do the job, and then somebody said, okay.
No, there was a contract, and then there was an attachment 8A amendment that was signed, 2 documents, I have copies of them, but they won't sign it, and that's the reason they gave Phil. But they never talked to me. They never responded or basically answered my emails or anything to me. Phil had to almost, he had to almost go down there just to get somebody to talk to us.
Were they supposed to sign them when they, won the bid?
They signed the contract and they signed the attachment. They did that, but because DEP wants a memo of compliance that they followed that, the contractor doesn't want to do that. So I'm trying to work around it to get it, and I think we have a solution, or at least DEP wants to work with us based on the reasoning that I gave them. But I'm not real happy. It's pretty unprofessional, at least not to reach out to me and say, Rick, stuff it, we're not doing it, something, right? But they didn't do anything like that. But yes, they signed all that. It went out to bid. We followed everything to the T. That's why we're even in the running for reimbursement. But literally, we were down to a compliance sentence, and now we have to redo on our end to get that.
I think that wouldn't it be illegalish that they should have had to sign that?
Well, it's a legal issue only if we're not going to get reimbursement. Then we'll go ahead and try to do it on a legal side. But I don't know that we can force them to do a compliance letter. But DEP looks like they're trying to give us a way out to still be in compliance for the file.
All right.
Yeah. Well, good question.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question.
Something to add on to that, the resiliency grants or those type of grants were new when we were were first trying to get this, so that probably has some complications
Yeah,
with it also.
yeah.
Only because I remember it was part when I was back as interim.
Nice chief.
Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Chief.
Alrighty. Council Mayor. So I brought Officer Ramos here. He does not have a water feature and he does not spew. But I did kind of want to celebrate. This is going to be one of his last working days. He has chosen to join the Navy. I was going to say military, but it's the Navy. Sorry. He just wanted to give you one more chance to say goodbye to him, good luck to him. We're proud of him. We love it when our officers go out and they join and they're going to serve our country. Also, this is going to be, since you guys passed the new pay provisions for law enforcement officers or any employee in the city, he will be one of our first test subjects that he will be getting compensated the right amount of money that he would be getting normally if he was here. I don't know if you guys remember, you did that back, I think it was in early last year or late last year, which we're excited to do, and we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that. I've already told him I need his email address, or he won't have an email. I need his mailing address to send him packages, and I'm sure any of you that want to send him a letter of encouragement while he's out in basic. I told him it wasn't going to be a letter of encouragement. I was in basic myself at one point. I'm going to send him letters that get him in trouble with his drill instructors or whatever they call them in the Navy, just so he'll have to do extra push-ups. But you guys can choose how you want to send him letters if you choose to. So just wanted to say, give Officer Ramos a quick second to say thank you to the council and to the city for making sure that payment plan got through, and we wish him luck. Thank you for getting that.
Hey, you're on record. Just on public record, you already said it. You stated your claim to it. So welcome back when you come back. Stay safe.
And we'll bring him back when he comes back. So thank you, bud. We'll see you when you get. Good luck out there.
Thank you. Be safe.
It's an exciting, scary moment. I think some of us remember it. You're going out there, and it's kind of uncharted territory. But once you get into it, you get used to it, and then it becomes part of your life, and you get back and come back and serve. He did it exactly like how I did. I became a police officer first, and then I joined the military later on in my career. It was one of the best decisions I ever made in my entire life. So thank you for supporting the military as a council.
I just feel sorry for him if he's going to Great Lakes in January or February.
Yeah, I would have made a different date.
Yeah, that's,
They asked me that. They said, you want to go to Georgia in February? I said, no. I said, do I get to choose? They said, you can go in April. I said, I'll go in April. He said, it's going to be hot. I said, I'm from Florida. I'll be all right. I still froze in April. Heading on back to kind of some school information, kind of to do with the gymnasium building. They should be putting up the tilt-up walls possibly starting next week. Of course, it's construction, so you never know. That's when it's planned to happen. We'll put out some notifications, but the road will be closed. It's going to be during school hours. We've got officers already set up for it. We're working with the constructors, but we'll make sure that everybody's notified as far as that road being closed. It shouldn't be for a long time, but just to kind of put that out there. We've got Arbor Day. Super excited about that. We'll be here for that. Pioneer Days, we're going to have our boat out there for Pioneer Days. That's coming up. I believe we have a casino night that same night. It's a tribute or charity for the school.
Yeah, correct. That's correct.
For Cornerstone, that'll be happening on that same 21st, 22nd weekend. But we'll have the boat out and our canine out there for Pioneer Days to let everybody kind of see that. And other than that, we're just trucking along, ready for the full brand new year to be. We got 1 month behind us. We're trucking along, and we'll keep it going. If you need anything, let me know.
Chief, was there a gas leak at the school today?
Not that I was reporting to.
Somebody had said, sir? No? There you go.
So Phil and I were out there with Brian. Sorry. Probably because of the gas leak. Phil and I were out there with Brian, and we did smell something, propane or gas, and we were standing at the Lancaster house. We did ask Brian. He did not know anything about it, but we didn't know if it was maybe the demolition going on at the school, which is interesting because the school's on hold indefinitely, but they still have people working on demolition. But that's for another day. But we did smell something, but we did not know where the source was coming from. But yes, we smelled that today.
Yeah, I got a text that there was a gas leak at the school and there were fire trucks there.
we didn't see
4:46 this afternoon, but nobody, yeah, they said the kids don't seem overly concerned, firemen not running around, so I wasn't sure if you had heard anything, so.
Didn't come to us, but.
or us either.
Yeah, it said might be lower school building, the trucks were on that side between them and Pine Castle Elementary, so it could have potentially been the construction or the destruction that was going on.
They could have hit a line there.
Yeah, no idea, I just wanted to check to see if you guys had heard anything, so, thank you, Chief.
We sounded that didn't hear anything.
It's the worst smoke, too. Public Works report, Mr. Price, how are you, sir?
Good. Good evening, everybody. Just a couple things. As you know, we were deathly cold this weekend for a Florida boy. But through the city, we didn't have any busted pipes or anything like that. I'm sure that we've had many of our shrubs. We'll see what comes back and what doesn't. We really weren't, weren't expecting it to get to single digits, I guess. Luckily, the wind was blowing pretty good, so a lot of that was more so the wind chill and so forth like that. But we made it through it again. Like I said, that I know I had the guys go on Monday and check the parks where we have the irrigation and stuff, backflows, and we did not have any breaks. Have a couple that were small leaks, so we'll give it a little time to see whether they're going to seal back up or if we have to do something with them. But that was our big thing that's been going on, and I cannot wait for it to get warm, personally.
Tomorrow.
So, and truthfully, that's all I have this evening.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Appreciate you. Thank you. Moving on to the mayor's report, the two things that I would push is that we do have Arbor Day coming up, February 7th at City Hall. Please come if you're in the city. I will not be there. I apologize. We are taking my daughter for her birthday celebration a little early since my February at work is normally every day of the month. So I apologize to the tree board for not being there this year, but we'll be there in spirit. And March 14th is the tentative date for everybody to come out to Warren Park and meet our wonderful Belle PD. Please come see them. I believe the tentative hours are 11 to 1, Chief? Correct? And it's a wonderful event based on what the feedback we got from last year moving into this year. So I'll be out there with them as well. So it'll be a nice event for everybody to come out and meet the people that write them their tickets. I'm just kidding, Chief. I'm kidding. That they keep safe. I wanted to say that the Pine Castle Historical Society's Chili Cook-Off was another big event, even though it was ice cold in the beginning of that morning, but it was a nice event. It was hosted. There was a lot of people from Belle Isle there as well, so it was a wonderful event, and I appreciate their community input that they have in the area as well. I don't really have anything else. Guys seem to have not froze over during this little weather spell. I'm very appreciative of each and every one of you. Chief, thank you for everything you do. Mr. Price, you and your staff. Gentlemen are fantastic. And Mr. Rubenbeck and the city staff were great for you guys as well. Moving on to commissioners' reports, starting with Commissioner Bertoli.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have no report.
Appreciate it. Commissioner Bobrowski.
No report.
Commissioner Shuck.
Not a thing, thank you.
Commissioner Lance.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
First, I'd like to say if in my district, if we could get someday the name of the deceased so we can send a condolence card to their family. And the next thing is I would like respectfully to put on the agenda for the next meeting or the meeting after proper cell phone usage by commissioners during the meeting. What should be allowed and what should not be allowed.
Commissioner, so your request, can you repeat your request to the council so they can hear it again?
Yes, sir. Just to make it as short as possible, cell phone usage for commissioners during the meeting, what should be allowed and what should not be allowed.
So with that being said, do we have a consensus for the council that they would like to have that as an agenda item on the next meeting? Or not? I'm not hearing a consensus. Go ahead, Commissioner, please.
I was just going to say, I guess it could go on there. I'm not exactly understanding what the act is, like us not using it during the meeting, or for example, I'm calling in to lead
I don't want to get too thick into the weeds of it. Consensus, would we like to confer a consensus, or would we like to just negate?
Commissioner Lance, can you put your phone on mute?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
May have a short one-on-one with Commissioner Lance would be in order?
Yes, so what I can do is I can meet with Commissioner Lance and I can get all the specifics. I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah, I would say that's probably the best way going about it.
So Commissioner Lance, you and I will have a one-on-one when you get back sometime next week, so I can go exactly what you want, and then we can, bring this up at another time to council and state to them exactly what we're talking about, and then they can do a consensus at that time.
That sounds good. Sorry for the calypso music in the background.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Lowell.
Yes, just want to say my thank you to Belle LPD, all of City Hall, and I was with you guys in cold spirit as there was 10 inches of snow and minus double digits here in Missouri. Wow. So I felt your pain, but I've survived, and hopefully I will thaw out when I get home next week. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Commissioner Lowell. Commissioner Parton, I'm going to jump to you next, sir.
I don't have anything to report, sir, but thank you.
Very much. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Smith.
Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. First and foremost, have any of you been contacted by the Orange County Clerk of Courts?
Yes.
For about a meeting? Oh, that's great news. Have you made an appointment? Well, I ask. The agenda for the meeting is a meet and greet to discuss the issues in the community. That's kind of broad.
It's not broad. I do believe that we are going to have another person in the race for mayor, and I believe that's why they're reaching out.
Orange County Mayor?
Correct. I got the same request as well.
At first when I got the text message, I thought it was spam, and I just ignored it, but then I checked up on the number and said, no, it's legit. So now this week I'm getting emails, and they're tentatively put me on for Friday afternoon. And I spoke with the city attorney if I'm the only one, and they asked questions from the perspective of a commissioner of the city of Belle Isle. I need your permission to go. If they ask for my opinions as a resident of Belle Isle, I can say whatever I want. I was just bringing it to your attention.
I would say I don't really have a say in it, but I would extend the same grace that you guys have extended to myself, that if it still is the Orange County Clerk of Courts also, so you're speaking to a representative of our county as well, and somebody who's trying to get an bird's eye view into what our community is about too. So I don't have a beef with it. The rest of them.
Why don't we invite them to come here?
We could definitely do that as well.
I also received an invitation.
Thank you. I'm glad to know I wasn't the only one singled out.
Sorry, you're not special.
I learn that more every day. Thank you.
I think you're special.
And thank you very much. After that, one of the things we do every day when we have these meetings is we go around the room, and by rights and because we are the people we are, we thank everybody. And tonight, I want to flip the coin a little bit, and I want to thank each and every one of you, not just for who you are or what you are, but what you do. I love this little city. I think we do a really good job. I had the opportunity to sit in on a city council meeting for the city of Maitland this past week, representing Tri-County League of Cities. And scarily enough, they're more like us than I really thought they'd be. But it goes back to the type of person who actually asks for this job and then does the job. And I can't tell you how proud I am to have been sitting here and working with you people for all this time. And that being said, before the meeting tonight, I turned in my resignation to the city clerk. I have family issues in the north part of the state that require my attention, and I'll be relocating soon. But I want to thank you all for all the support that you've given me all this time and the things you've allowed me to sit here and accomplish. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sir, thank you very much. We will absolutely be missed. I can say that for myself. Would you like to?
April 7th. Oh, my apologies. I don't want to leave you high and dry, so I've given it back 60 days. April 7th is the swearing date for new people. And that'll give plenty of time to broadcast and maybe find somebody even better.
Highly doubtful, sir. Highly doubtful.
Mayor,
Sir,
can I
ma'am.
ask a question?
Sorry about that. Yes.
So, our seats are for District 7 and now District 6 are going to be vacant as of the first meeting in April. Would it be a good idea to post it in February, 30 days? The code says we have to post the empty seats 30 days and then an additional 30 days.
Correct.
But if we wait to April, May, June, that means by July, August in this budget season. And it's going to be difficult.
I would say that, yeah, post it as early as possible now that the resignation is in hand. We should, yeah.
The city attorney, you have an opinion?
I was gonna refer to it.
I mean, yeah, I think, again, as long as you have it, it's confirmation, I think, as early as you can, gives you more time to work with. I don't think there's anything.
So I'm glad Yolanda brought that up. Thank you, Yolanda.
Yes, sir.
We'll just need a consensus from the current commission. And if you remember, we did this, was it last year we did it, I think? We posted it 30 days prior or 15 to 30 days prior because we wanted to make sure that we had somebody in that seat. And so in April, so we don't prolong it. So it's great. Thank you, Yolanda, for that. But if we have a consensus from the commission, we can go ahead and do that. Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. That's all we need.
Would you like to?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Meeting's adjourned.